This is 149, The Bay by Helen Frankenthaler, made in 1963. It is acrylic on canvas. And this is Helen Frankenthaler. The form is that Frankenthaler painted by pouring on the paint on the canvas in somewhat of a controlled manner. This is called, and I'll show you a picture of that. This is called a soak stain, where she mixed with her pigment a lot of turpentine and then poured it onto the canvas. The paint would then kind of soak into the canvas. So it's a different technique for painting. And you can see here in this display in front of us, these are all her pieces of art. And this is ours, The Bay. In terms of form, this is a pretty big piece. It's about 7 feet by 7 feet. The intention is to celebrate the joy of pure color. And so in terms of form, we see violet to indigo with a navy line going across the top, and then we go back into indigo and violet. So it's an appreciation of those colors moving into one another, complementing one another. In terms of form, you can see here, she worked with the canvas on the floor. And she would also, it doesn't show her doing it there, but she would lift up the canvas and kind of move the paint let it roll across the canvas. So she was inspired by Jackson Pollock, and that's context, excuse me, not form. She was inspired by Jackson Pollock, who you see here, who would kind of throw the line of the image onto the canvas. He would use anything from a dried up paintbrush to a turkey baster to a stick to apply his paint. And so Frankenthaler is taking a page out of his book. His is almost like performance art in a way. And here is Jackson Pollock's, two of his works. One of them is titled Blue Poles, and the other is Autumn Rhythm number 30. And these are abstract expressionist painters who we have already in our set with William de Kooning in Woman One. So using vibrant colors, and this is more abstract, The Bay is, than say Woman One. And what resulted out of Frankenthaler's work was what's called color field painting. So if you look up color field painting in I was going to say the dictionary, but goodness gracious, y'all don't use those anymore. So look it up on Google, you'll see color field painting. And we have shout out here to Tommy Elliott, who doesn't like this color field painting. Yeah, Frankenthaler helped inspire color field painting, where the color and the application of the color on the canvas, that technique is what is demonstrated. And for example, here is Mark Rothko's. It's a Houston Chapel. He painted 14 black canvases. So if you look at this work, I'm going to show you a little video in class too about just how is this difficult and what makes it, valuable in art. So color field painting resulted partly from Helen Frankenthaler's work. We won't say that she was solely responsible, but her work does lead to this. So in terms of content, there's nothing in particular that we're supposed to be getting about her work. In, like we're not supposed to say, oh yeah, I see an umbrella there. Instead, it's like the sentiment and nuance are being squeezed out. Instead, we're responding to the colors. And there is some reference, of course, in the bay. There is some kind of reference to landscape. But the function of her work is to be an abstract expressionist and to get us to appreciate pure color and the relationships of color with one another. All right, I'm going to say it. This is one of my favorites. All right, that's The Bay by Helen Frankenthaler, made in 1963. It's an acrylic on canvas.